The Go Forth And Amplify podcast is brought to you by DeathSquadUK.com. We are in no way affiliated to Brian Redband's original setup, but he inspired us to do this podcast. There's no way you can say the same shit week in, week out without making it sound any better. We are proudly affiliated with the Inspired Disorder Collective, and they more or less inspired us to do this podcast. Now, as they say in the United Kingdom of Northern Ireland and Great Britain and the Commonwealth, me, Ben Burrows, at BritPodcaster on Twitter, and Declan Whiteside, at The Anarchist Undead on Twitter, are going to try and blow your fucking nines. Now, let us start this motherfucker. And we are back live after a 1982 power cut. What we were talking about previously before we went off air, we'll just go over it quickly. Basically, Great Britain has dropped approximately 70 concrete blocks into the Gibraltar Straits, the sea in between that runs between Gibraltar, which is a British territory, and Spain. 70 concrete blocks. These blocks have been planted there to supposedly regenerate the marine life in that area, which is by the Gibraltar government that has been decimated. The Spanish fishermen are being trodden along the bottom of the seabed, and not only are they taking all the fish, apparently they are destroying the marine land as well. So the concrete blocks have attracted all these fish to come back on a massive major holiday, and none of them are no longer living now in the Spanish Sea, which very rightly so is upsetting a lot of fucking Spanish fishermen. Just recently, there's been a Spanish armada that has left the Spanish mainland and invaded. Are we going to go for invaded?
Invaded's a good fucking word.
Invaded British territorial waters in protest at the fishing community being decimated. I completely understand where the Spanish are coming from. Some of the fishermen are losing €500 a day, between 500 and 600 euros a day. That's what is being rumoured to have lost. The Spanish Foreign Minister, full title Jose Manuel Garcia Margallo, he has said their country will not enter into any sovereignty in negotiations until Great Britain removes the 70 concrete blocks. So they're not even going to talk about, communicate with Britain over a sovereignty until Britain, first of all, moves the blocks. So that's automatically a massive fucking stumble there, isn't it? Because Britain aren't going to move 70 fucking blocks. Can you imagine? It's going to be quite difficult to do. I can imagine it being very fucking easy to drop it.
Them fucking concrete blocks are much bigger than we're fucking expecting. If these blocks are enough to stop people fishing the area, they're not exactly going to be a little concrete block like fucking pallet size. These are probably going to be fucking mega blocks.
It's going to be a big fucking concrete block, isn't it? It is going to be. You're talking for at least a ton of concrete block. It's going to be a ton of concrete block. Now, I wonder if these blocks were strategically positioned, or were they just dumped to make an underwater hill or mountain under the sea. 70's a fucking lot. I wish I would have got the dimensions of it.
I'd suspect that they did think about it first if they were going to be doing it for marine life, as they've said.
They're just going to be all dumped and propped up, aren't they? Because the fish are going to be able to swim in between and all that. So, yeah. It must look a fucking monstrosity under the sea. Mustn't it? It must look.
I just don't give a shit what it looks like.
I don't know. I tell you what, after maybe, how long do you reckon it's going to be before the sea just takes over the blocks, before plankton and marine life? Because it's classed as an artificial reef, isn't it?
Well,
because it's going to cling to it like a motherfucker, isn't it?
Well, stainless steel on ships and stuff like that takes what, fucking 2-3 years to become completely wildlifed.
Right.
So I would suspect it's going to be
inhabited. Is that the way you're looking for it? Inhabited by the marine life.
You've seen what some of these fucking warships look like after a couple of years, haven't you?
No, I know. But Titanic's, I think what they said, Titanic's got another 20 years before it's completely eaten by the ocean. That's done good for 100 years for wood.
Definitely, yeah. Well, it'll probably be 120 by then. Thingy, when did it fucking set sail? Fucking hell, it was
12. It was 1912 it sunk. April 1912.
So yeah, it'll be fucking 120 odd years by then. I'm trying to think, what would it be? 122 years, 123 years.
Right, yeah. So it's going to completely fucking disappear by then.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised how fast fucking nature takes over. Like, fucking fish don't give a shit. You know, like, when you and me fucking might go up to the Mersey Hotel or something like that, we look outside and we think, no, I'm not fucking staying in there. Fish don't give a fuck.
No.
Oh, fucking hell. I'll go in there.
Have you seen pictures of this water? This water's blue, mate. I know cameras can lie, but this water looks absolutely fucking stunning. Even the Prime Minister's got involved of Spain, and he's also agreed that it was actually him who said that Great Britain, when they negotiated originally, it was never part of the 1730 Treaty of Utrecht, which Spain conceded Gibraltar to Great Britain. Right, they said it never happened. I would need to look into more of what this agreement is, but for the past 300 years, Great Britain have said on paper that Spain agreed us to have it. I don't know why. I don't know the background why they agreed to have it. Do you know?
No,
was it war? Was it a debt?
You just don't like I said earlier on, before we were rudely interrupted by Eon. You just don't fucking know. You really do not know. With these treaties, they're all over the fucking place. There's treaties that fucking 10 a penny. Look how fucking World War One fucking started straight away. When it started by fucking Germany invading Belgium, and we had a fucking 150-year-old allied treaty with Belgium. We weren't fucking allies with them then. We were just fucking allies with them 150 years before. And this treaty just so happened to mean, that's our fucking ally. Straight over the
really? I didn't know that.
That's how World War One started. Otherwise, they'd probably just gone through fucking Belgium into France and, alright, let's have it.
Yeah, through the doorstep.
Basically. But no, we went over. Like I said, these fucking treaties of 10 a penny, we're probably fucking allied to half the bastard world. Probably allied to every fucking ex-colony. Yeah. For starters.
Is there any more British colonies that are attached to any other countries or are in season in any other countries? Because do you know that I think it's the Netherlands has the Faroe Islands, which is like 80 miles away from the Scotland mainland, or 120 miles away from the Scottish mainland.
I know they had something up there.
Yeah, they've got the Faroe Islands, which is supposed to be absolutely fucking rife with natural resources as well, which is pretty close to our sea, isn't it? So that's in theory that could be our Falklands if we're really pissy about it.
Yeah, but I think when you look at it though, especially from our point of view.
We've got Barbados, hasn't he? Barbados on Jamaica. That's British. That's British sovereign territory, isn't it? I know some. It
definitely was. I don't know if it still is.
I'm sure it is.
I know we're definitely still part of Jamaica on some level, because Jamaicans' death sentences are sentenced in our courts in London.
What?
If anybody ever gets sentenced to death in Jamaica, it's decided in our courts.
What?
Seriously,
I didn't know that.
I don't know if it's changed in the last few years or anything, but certain court cases and stuff like that, they need to go through their courts. They need to go through their courts, and then be approved through our courts beforehand.
Wow. So how does that conflict? How does that not conflict with the law of this land?
Because it's not our land.
But it's been somebody's life is being decided on our land.
Yeah, but.
That's wrong. That's so wrong.
It's not our land, though.
We digress again. Is there any other territories that we can think of now that are attached to any other country?
I don't know of one.
Is Canada a British territory?
It is to a certain point. Our Queen is the head of state.
Right.
Up to a certain level. Their military forces are
the
royal forces, to a certain level. So arguably, yes.
But Gibraltar has British police uniforms. They have British police cars. They have British road signs, British road network. I'm not sure about right-hand drive vehicles. I think they even drive on the right side of the road, not the wrong side of the road, or the left side of the road, or whatever you want to call it. So that is colonised by British. To be a little Britain away from Britain, a bit like Falklands. Falklands is a little Britain that isn't attached to Britain. Colonisation, I don't agree with it. Right, it is wrong that we have got a fucking chunk of land bolted onto the arse end of Spain. It'd be fucking crazy if, let's say, for example, how could you, say Devon and Torquay. It'd be crazy if that was a little part of Germany, bolted on, and you just driving in Great Britain, and all of a sudden in England, and then you drive into Germany, but it's attached. I would be pissy about it as well, regardless of whatever treaty was fucking agreed between Great Britain and Germany in the 1700s. I would not be. If I grew up with it, I'm not not sure, but I would find it very unsettling that another country's got a piece of land regardless of what. So I can see where Argentina and Spain are coming from. That doesn't mean to say that I can't see where the British fucking government is coming from as well, saying, well, hang on a second, we've had this for 300 years, so it is ours, we've colonised it, we've built it up, we've made it into the mecca of what it is, because we've got a habit of making our overseas territories a paradise away from paradise.
Yeah.
Falklands has got nearly zero. In fact, I'm going to say it, Falklands has apparently got 0% fucking unemployment. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's employed who's of the employment age. There's nobody unemployed over there. Gibraltar is fucking sunny. Have you seen the landing strip?
Yeah.
It's in the sea.
I know.
Landing strip runs off into the sea and it's fucking gorgeous. We had Hong Kong for 100 years as well. The Chinese government gave Hong Kong to Great Britain for 100 years. Hong Kong was one of the financial bastions of Earth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was stunning. It was gorgeous. There was skyscrapers.
Was?
Well, I believe now they've got a lot of problems with smog in Hong Kong.
Yeah, but
which
it still looks stunning.
It does still look stunning. When the skies are clear, it is out of this world, and we made that what it is. And had the British pound over there. And when was it? 1996 when it was officially handed back to China. I'll never forget this. The Britannia, the Royal Britannia yacht was over there. Prince Charles went over for the official handing over fucking sovereignty back to China, and we had a governor. It was the governor of Hong Kong. He was in charge of that area. It wasn't like a prime minister or anything like that. But we had the governor of Hong Kong, and it was basically a couple of fireworks, an hour-long ceremony, and then the tanks rolled in. Yeah. The Chinese rolled tanks into fucking Hong Kong, and the Britannia sailing out like fucking within the hour of us hanging. I can remember watching it on the news. I can remember my mother turning around and saying to us, like, they just want fucking Britain out now. Then, do you know what I mean? And in my personal opinion, I think the quality of Hong Kong has decreased a little bit through the. It is a tyrannical government, isn't it? That's the
it's to an extent. It's definitely a decrease to that point. There's no denying that the skyscrapers and footage and stuff like that are amazing, but like you said, there is a lot of smog problems over there because they're going through it. We had fucking 200 bastard years ago, possibly even earlier. Actually, really, when we just didn't give a shit. Pump everything out into the atmosphere, and they just don't give a fuck. They're just going to keep going.
Can you see an end game to the Gibraltar argument fiasco?
As in what I expect it will end with?
Yeah. Is it going to be? Can you foresee a political fucking argument for dominating the fucking Great Britain and Spain for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years?
No, I reckon Spain's going to have its own fucking shitstorm very soon. That it's just going to get swept away.
And that's how you think it's going to be? It's going to end. They'll just keep on arguments in the background just to divert attention away from their internal problems.
They're much more beneficial as a future. Because let's face facts. If all of a sudden they did get Gibraltar back, which they wouldn't, but if they did, all of a sudden get Gibraltar back, all of a sudden, oh fuck, what do we use now?
It's our diversion.
Guys now, that's it. Fucking that idea is shit canned. What do you blame then?
Do you think there's absolutely no chance at all that the Spanish will grow a set of fucking Spanietta balls and just say, right, military?
No way.
Invade.
Because they'd literally destroy their country that way.
How?
Because straight away, under completely every single EU law, they no longer a member state. They no longer get any money.
That's the agreement, is it? That's the agreement.
The whole idea of the EU is you fucking there's a couple of things that you cannot fucking do under any circumstance. Now it's not under threat of war, right? But they would suddenly become a non-EU state, right? The UN would side with Britain, and arguably Britain would go down the fucking same route as the fucking Falcons. The only difference is that Spain's got much less balls than the fucking Argentina did in terms of fighting wise.
Do you think they've got a good standing military? Because they're all they have to do something like 3 years military service in Spain.
Not to my knowledge.
Did they not?
I don't think there's any country in the UK, in the EU that has that now.
Really, I didn't know that. I thought they did. So they probably get drafted like our old agreement.
Yeah.
If they did, what's that called again?
Conscription.
The conscription, yeah. Everyone just get conscripted to go to war. So this is purely a diversion tactic from Spain to take away from the internal domestic problems.
Yeah.
So it's a fucking pointless argument. So why are we beefing up our military presence over there? Why have we... I was going to ask, why have we sent a frigate and a battleship? But if you ask the Navy, that's just part of the routine exercise.
Well, according to everything, it's scheduled, but arguably when you look at something, it'd be very difficult for any one of our areas to have a kick-off and for there not to be a military exercise within the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Because we have military exercises in every single country that's part of us, full stop. And half the fucking countries that aren't. You know, we have these military exercises all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
You know,
If you just looking at what goes on around the world, when North Korea fucks off South Korea, America and South Korea do war exercises. Yeah, so I understand that. Yeah.
You could argue, especially with fucking America and South Korea, they fucking have war exercises like fucking
quite regularly.
You know, like fucking probably more often than a full moon. You know, they fucking just have it all the fucking time. You know,
that's a lot.
You know, and when you consider that much shit happens over there, that the only difference is that this Gibraltar thing has just meant that the media reports that there's a military exercise. More than likely.
Yeah, the attention's drawn to it. These two countries are arguing.
Not only that,
there's a military exercise going on at the same time. It must mean that they're militarising the area.
Not only that, it was literally impossible that by the time that them ships, I should say, because there's a couple, isn't there?
I know of two, a couple.
It would have been impossible for them to have left that port on the day the Gibraltar exercise started and still get there by that time.
Really?
So they must have left before anything happened, media-wise. So arguably they were probably just on the way, you know, cruising along type of thing. But like I said, military exercise happen all the fucking time. You know, they really do.
I am sure that I heard an article. I think it made the national news that jet skiers were in Gibraltar seas, and I am absolutely fucking positive I heard on the news and I read an article that the Spanish Coast Guard or some type of civil defence fired on these jet skiers because they were in Spanish water. I am absolutely positive I heard that, and it caused absolute fucking outrage.
When was that?
In Great Britain. Within the last 4 to 8 weeks this happened. I'm positive of it. I will, in fact, at the end of the podcast, probably tomorrow, I will try and find a story and I'll post it on the DeathSquadUK.com website. So you can see that it has been escalating, and it does all roads are leading to a Spanish fucking invasion. It really is. If they're willing to fire on, and then you send in an Armada with the Spanish Coast Guard, and they invade, which is, I know it's the wrong word, but they do sail into our territory. It is a provocation. It really is a provocation.
That fucking Armada, I could fucking get a BB rifle and shoot them, sink them.
I know there's a lot of fishing vessels. I know fucking fishing vessels.
Fishing vessels, fucking hell, they look like they belong down the fucking River Mersey Canal.
See, I'd love to be educated enough to break it down. Right, Spain have got 22% unemployment. You've now got a fisherman who are losing €500 a day, right? Potentially €500 a day, right? What point does a human being get pushed to the fact and say, right, fuck it? What's the population of Gibraltar? Any idea? 100,000?
Fucking fuck all. It's only a rock. It's fucking tiny. That's why it's called the Rock.
The Rock of Gibraltar. What would you say then? 60,000?
I don't even know. I've never even been anywhere near there.
All right, so let's say it's 60,000 for example. Right, 60,000 people who live on. All it'll take is 10,000 heavily armed fucking people, Spaniards, just to fucking march across the border and invade. 10,000 is a lot of fucking people. Imagine if Spain did that. It would fall. The last thing that Great Britain are going to do, especially now, is fucking, what they're going to do, start bombing the fucking Spanish mainland, or are they going to do what they did in Falklands, to just bomb the rock?
Population of Gibraltar is 29,000.
30,000 people at Gibraltar, right? It's doable. It's doable. If they wanted to, the police force could probably do it. The fucking National Guard could probably walk into Gibraltar tomorrow and take over and say to Britain, what the fuck are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah, because they must have some type of navy. Yeah, Spain must have a modern navy, defendable navy.
But, like I said, you might as well go to fucking room 1 of a fucking 1,000-room barracks and run into the first fucking room with a hand grenade fucking unpinned. That's all it'd do. It's fucking drop in the ocean, you know. There's no it'd be just stupid. It'd be a stupid idea.
Suicide.
They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. They wouldn't do it.
Well, let's play devil's advocate here. What happens if they did? Right, will the EU turn their back on Gibraltar? Realistically,
look, you mean on the back on Spain?
The back on Spain.
They would have to. They've got to by every single law that's in place. Not only that, they could not let if something like that happened, and it was not solved very fucking quickly by the EU, not by us, by the EU, through fucking political challenge. If it was not sorted very fucking quickly, that would be it. The EU would be fucking over, and the next thing you know, fucking everybody would be twatting fuck out of each other. You know,
it's really so good. It could lead to like a European civil war.
None of us like each other. Let's face facts. We don't. No country likes the other country in the EU, apart from the fucking Scandinavian countries.
Oh no, because they're all fit.
Who seem to like each other. Yeah. You know, aside from that, fucking.
Right, let's break it down. Right. Why do we not like any other country? Is it purely for the fact that we're British and they're French? Is that the attitude, or is there anything behind it? Because I've been brought up to not like I've been brought up to not like Germans because the German ancestry were bastards to my grandfather, right? But and when I mean bastards, I mean like I can remember my grandfather always telling me that the Germans killed his best friend. It was the prisoner wars. They killed his best friend, torched all the bodies, and they made my grandfather build a wall from the ashes of all of his dead comrades, right? So I was brought up to hate Germans, okay? Right? French, I was brought up to learn that the French are cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's coming to invade, let's surrender.
Yeah.
So I was brought up with a little less respect for the French, right? Another place in Europe, the Spanish, I've never really not been... I don't mind the Spanish, I don't mind the Greek. So to say that we don't like it, it's pissing me off a little bit that there's all this attention on Gibraltar at the moment, but purely for the fact that there's a lot of internal problems in Spain, and I know it's not going to go anywhere. If they're that fucked off with it, invade. Yeah. Invade. If you're not going to invade, take it to the courts and defeat it that way.
Yeah.
But if you're going to start fucking invading our territory, you need to expect some type of fucking consequences. Because at the moment, are we just being pussies and saying, well, we can't do anything because it will just escalate? Because if they're invading our territory, we've got to be shown that we are fucking willing to defend it. By the power of Grayskull, we have the power.
The main thing with it is, now obviously Cameron said that he's going to take it to the EU, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And the EU will absolutely vote in our favour.
The EU have currently warned Spain against the illegal border tax. The European Union have officially told Spain that the £50 border tax is illegal. Yep. So all these people have paid £50 and all that money that's been generated in a country that is fucking really full of debt, are they going to pay that back? Who are they going to pay it back to?
Well, they haven't paid. They haven't started it yet. It was just a proposal. It was that foreign minister, the fucking knob.
Garcia Margallo.
Yeah, the fucking one who's currently in Argentina.
That's another story which we will cross on that.
But that's just a proposal that he made. But he seems to be a bit of a hardline politician, you know, over the.
So playing the odds game, playing the numbers game. When Great Britain goes to the European courts, what is going to happen there? Are the European courts going to put a rubber stamp on it and say, listen, fucking Almenio, listen, fucking Manuel from Fawlty Towers. It's Great Britain's. It's been Great Britain's for 300 years. Yeah, it's wrong. It's attached to your fucking country. But there's fuck all you can do about it. So what happens if they don't remove the border checks? Can they continue with the these border checks? What are they doing now that they weren't doing 6 months ago, border checks wise? Are they just checking every vehicle?
They're doing a more advanced check, but they're also taking the piss about it. I'm sure I fucking read something somewhere the other day that they were checking the cars for 20 minutes and then making them wait for 4 hours, then letting them through. You know, just shit like that. Because that's what they've been told to do. You know, it's not the fucking man on the ground's fault. It's just what they've been told to do.
What do you mean by... So what they're doing for 4 hours? What's the official story? Right, just wait there a second.
Breaks, dinners, blah, 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 blah. Just taking the piss.
Dragging it out.
But the best laugh is here.
Cowards.
Best laugh is here.
Cowards.
Hardly anybody in Gibraltar works in Spain. 7,000 Spanish work in Gibraltar.
Really? So we're fucking...
Who the fuck's losing out?
Gibraltar.
Not us.
Yeah. I'm saying that though, if they were 7,000 Spanish work in Gibraltar, that means that there is 7,000 jobs potentially 7,000 jobs not being done.
Yes,
so it would hurt a little bit, but not as much.
Yes, but the 7,000 people in Spain not earning a penny.
I know.
You know,
That must be fucking riling them.
You know, and not only that, fucking all those fucking fishermen. I'm sure they only number about 300. You know, 300 fishermen. I'm sure it's only
what, that fish the Gibraltar Strait.
I'm sure it's about 80 vessels that fish that part. It's fucking not exactly a big part of the ocean. No, it's fuck all. No.
Right, so we are not thick. We are not thick, Foreign Minister Garcia Manuel. We know that you have internal domestic problems. We know that this is a diversion tactic. So why fucking put off the inevitable and just fucking go to court, settle it out in the courts? I mean, I know that's not going to be what they want, but I cannot be fucked with the constant, oh no, you can't do this, we can't do that, we're going to sail 30 boats into your water, we're going to be very angry about it. If you're not prepared to listen to the fucking law of the world, then you shouldn't be then you should be prepared for some type of fucking retaliation financially. I do not agree though with one family suffering in Spain, and ultimately, from an external source looking in on it, it looks like Spain's going to suffer. Yeah. Whether they invade or whether they don't invade, whether they keep up the fucking stupid checks, it looks like Europe are going to fucking come down hard on them. Yeah. As much as you want to play devil's advocate, deep down inside, I know that Europe is fucking gonna not bum them, but they're going to say, like, listen, fucking Manuel, this is what's going to happen, right? Gibraltar is Great Britain's.
Yep.
Stop fucking about with the border checks, or we're going to do this and this sanction. What would be the first sanction that would come from Europe?
Well, the process is that long and drawn out that I think what would happen before that happened is we would veto probably a farting little shitty MEP thing in the court, but we'd veto something that it's just a little pinprick in Spain, you know, and they go, oh fucking hell, that hurt. What the fuck, you know?
See, that's what you would want them, and that's what you would expect them to do. You would expect them to go, oh fucking hell, that hurt. But would that not infuriate them more?
Definitely.
So us by vetoing that little pinprick is only going to fucking cause a world of hurt in the long run, isn't it?
It can only benefit us, basically. But the main thing is behind it is that the EU is going to come down hard on them. They are, because this is one thing. If all of a sudden the EU starts letting other countries, you know, take this little bit of land off another country that was fucking from hundreds of years ago, then you've got a fucking big fucking problem then. Because all of a sudden the Rhine, Germany to France, whose is that? They were fighting over that for fucking 500 years. Yeah. You know, you've got all sorts of other fucking, you know, issues. There's all sorts of these little tiny bits of land in borders all over Europe.
Apparently the $50 charge was going to be an eco tax. Sorry, €50 charge was going to be an eco tax. It's Great Britain has refused to talk about the sovereignty, so Spain has said, right, we're going to start charging an eco tax for you coming over to Spain. €50.
It's the absolute best tactic. Just turn around and go, we're not going to talk about sovereignty. The best tactic. Because the simple fact of the matter is, there's nothing they can do about it, especially with these. Argentina's a different matter. With the Spanish one, though, it is massively
Argentina's a different matter.
Our borders are just fucking, they're set in stone right there and then. You know, the borders with Argentina are set in stone in the UN, but the biggest difference is with that, though, is with it being Argentina can do something, we can go, right, fuck it, we're going to knock the fuck out of you. We can. With Spain, it's a big fucking complicated matter. You know, it'd be a very fucking foolish man who fucking decided to invade Gibraltar. Whoever the fuck signed that off, be fucked. You know, they'd go to prison type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
In prison in their own country, funnily enough. It would happen like
that.
Does
it not go to The Hague?
No. But depending, fucking, unless they went a bit extreme.
Yeah. Fucking chemical gas the island.
Yeah.
Doing extermination like cockroaches that the British had, like a virus. We were like a virus in the 1700s, weren't we, the British?
We were horrendous.
Yeah, spreading all over. I mean, the British killed a lot of fucking people.
You know, we sent fucking people everywhere.
I know.
We were the first ones who set up fucking embassies in nearly every country in the entire fucking world. Or embassies to some sort. What was they call? What they call it? The mission, the trade mission. That's what it is.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, we had them in fucking Japan in fucking 1700s, for fuck's sake. You know, fucking, what was it, 17 something?
We never fucked about with the Japs though, did we? We never tried to fucking colonise Japan. Well, they're samurais. You don't fuck about with a samurai, do you?
You either need to be a fucking complete dick.
Which the British were.
You know, well, I know what I mean, as in a real dick. I mean, as in an American dick. to fuck about with Japan.
Sorry, viewers.
Well, the main thing is that they're the only ones who've ever fucking tried it. Fucking hell, China tried fucking a good few 100 years ago. They sent the entire fleet and it never came back.
To Japan?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Back in the samurai days, they sent I'm sure it was like 1,200 ships, something massive. One of the most advanced fleets at the time as well. And they sent them across that little farting bit of water. They never came back, and the Japanese said, well, we didn't get them. So
for the next potentially 5, 10, 15, 20 years, all we're going to hear is fucking the same as Argentina.
Wow. That's what it's going to be.
Wow. Well, it's fucking boring.
I know.
I'm bored of it because the news are making it look sexy. The news are sort of saying, and today in Gibraltar, a fleet of vessels sailed over to Japan, and an escalation of aggression shown from Madrid. But what they're really saying to us is, they might invade.
Yeah,
that's what they might do. They might invade. There might be a fucking kickoff. There might be a big kickoff.
See, the main laugh is about it is that what do you notice about every single little tiny fighting fucking story that happens, right? Let me think. One of the best examples. Do you remember when there was that plane? I can't remember when it was. A fucking plane had an engine catch fire the other fucking month, right?
Yeah, it landed in London.
And then within the space of that fucking week, the news had about 20 different reports of different engine fires and cabin fires. And at the end of the day, a fucking 60,000 flights a day. These fucking things happen a lot.
Yeah.
But just because of that one, these 20 were reported.
Focused, yeah.
They were focused on it. Now, with this little Gibraltar fucking spat, they're focused on stuff that more than like probably fucking happens all the bastard time. But anyone who's where Gibraltar is, but there's all sorts of problems there all the fucking time. Fishing vessels going into the wrong part, skiers going into the wrong part, fucking tourists, pedalos probably, fucking, the full works.
Apparently the government that was in power before the current government that's in now, there was a massive agreement from that government saying, listen, we're not even going to bring up Gibraltar. Do you know what I mean? It's better for us, it's better for Spain, just not to let it be. And now this fucking left-wing government's got in, they've said, nah, it's ours, we want it back. So there has been a governmental attitude shift and policy shift towards it. Again, back onto their fucking internal domestic problems, and it's annoying. I'm actually infuriated now that they're arguing. Like I said earlier, I understand where they're coming from, but it's fucking boring. We know how this is going to play out. If they invade, they're fucked. If they don't invade and keep on going on about it, they're going to be fucked. Just one more question. Why is Garcia Manuel in Argentina at the moment?
Well,
because it was you who told me about this.
He did initially say that he was going to go to Argentina. Now, whether or not, they haven't said whether this is an already scheduled meeting or not, but he said he was going to go to Argentina to speak to his foreign counterpart, his foreign minister counterpart in Argentina, about them both taking the matter of British colonies to the UN again.
Right.
Now, the last time it was took to the UN said, well, hang on, Britain and Argentina, you best sit down and talk about it. Right, in Argentina, obviously, as they fucking went, yeah, right, we'll talk about it. And Britain went, nah, fuck off.
It was us who said no.
Well, we're not going to fucking talk about it. It's ours. You don't.
So there's nothing to talk about.
It's strictly speaking, right. Let's face fact. Nobody was fucking alive.
Yeah.
Fucking back when the Falklands was actually took into our thing in 1832. Yeah. It's like all of a sudden the fucking far corner of my garden. There's a 3 foot by 3 foot space, right? That was initially when this house was first built. That was, what's the word? Not chief rent. Leased.
Oh, it was a leasehold.
It was a leasehold, and the people who had this house back then bought it outright. Okay. They bought it outright. It was fucking something. It was pathetic money. It was fuck all.
Yeah.
But it's all of a sudden like them fucking pulling out something and go, well, hang on, that fucking used to be ours.
Yeah, but we didn't buy it, did we? We've not bought Argentina. We just fucking not Argentina. We didn't buy the Falklands, did we? We just colonised it. I never looked into the past of the island that much to the point where I found out that there was an agreement by the South American nations to say, well, Britain did it. It just seemed to be tolerated for a long fucking time.
Well, the main thing that happened that caused that...
Resources.
We're going to spend a long fucking time on colonies here by the looks of it, but the main thing behind it was France had initially colonised the Falklands.
Correct.
Spain had initially colonised the Falklands at another point in time.
They both said it was uninhabitable. There was only one person who successfully colonised it, and that was a Spanish fella. Yeah. And it was actually America who fucked them off because it was fucking militarising. It was fucking putting weapons there like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, and then we fucking colonised it, and fucking over the fucking so many years, the 3 different plaques and everything. During that time, the Spanish Empire collapsed. Argentina became its own nation.
That's right.
Right. Argentina then said, because the Falklands was Spanish, and because it was so close to their waters, it was now theirs.
Yeah.
But by then, we had a colony on there.
Yeah, that's right.
Which means that everybody's in the right, everybody's in the wrong.
Yeah. Because if anybody, it's Spain's, not fucking Argentina's. Yeah. They're just declaring it theirs because it's close to them, which is a nonsensical fucking argument.
I know.
When it was actually the Spanish, which has got fuck all to do with Argentina now, because when did they get independence from Spain?
Argentina?
Yeah, it's recent history, isn't it? I'm not talking like 50 years, but in the last 100 years they got...
no, it was about 1820.
Was it?
Yeah. It was not long before we took over the Falklands, and they got independence from him. It was round about when the Spanish Empire went to shit.
Do you know what they were? The power. Powers. Look at all the South Americans. It's either Portuguese or Spanish.
Well, between the 3 of us, we all independently had power, if you know what I mean. We all competed for that power for a good fucking 200 years between us. And ultimately, we came out on top eventually, and we managed to hold on to it for a certain amount of time.
Because of modern history, we were just the last ones to do the major colonising, weren't we? I mean, you can go back to the Vikings. It was the Vikings who colonised. It was actually the first The Vikings were the first to colonise America, weren't they? Well, they made it to America, and they went, fucking, there's nothing here, it's just all marshland and all that, and turned around and fucked off. But so you was telling me that they found all old Viking settlements, old Viking settlements there.
Like the briefest settlements going, because they just moved on, like they always did. Everywhere they ever went. They went to Britain and they found people, loads of gold, monasteries where people don't fight back.
We're having this one.
Let's rape, pillage, and fucking rob everything.
Yeah.
Fucking America, unless they'd gone for another fucking 6,000 miles south, they wouldn't have found fucking anything. No one lived there. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's crazy that, isn't it? To think that 500, 600, 700, 800 years ago there was nobody living in America, just the Native Americans.
Well, even then they were fucking
very
way down
far
to south.
Yeah.
They were arguably, descended from Mayans and Aztecs and all that shit. And so
they can be the real colonisation, can't they?
So that was a fucking one big. It is still one big piece of land, obviously.
I saw a great meme about fucking Americans. There was an American meme going around about foreigners invading this country and taking all the jobs, and there was like a Native American going, "Yeah, that's cute." Or there was a sign going, "Foreigners go home," and then there was like a Native American person going, "Yeah, foreigners go home," and it was like Jimmy McTake, this American ginger haired fella originally from Irish descent. Foreigners go home. What? That's cute, son. That's real cute.
They can't fucking tell anybody, can they? Let's face facts.
I wonder what America was called before America.
13 colonies.
What was it called?
It was the 13 colonies of America. It was those 13.
So it's always been called America.
No, it was 13 colonies. It was. I can't remember what the fuck it was called. It could have been a confederation, possibly. I can't remember.
Right.
I know they were initially called 13 colonies, and it was like Georgia. Georgia, York, fucking York.
Yeah, but that was by white colonisation, wasn't it? What did the I've got to say it, Native American Indians call it? They call it the eagle white owl of the eastern, western, southern hemisphere.
I could not tell you. I've never even looked at the Native American history. I've never even got anywhere near it.
So the descendants of Americans are majority British, because George Washington's parents are both British. Mm-hmm. George Washington's parents were in, I think it was, what's it called, New Amsterdam. Was it New Amsterdam what New York was?
No, to my knowledge it's pretty much nearly always been New York.
No, before New York. Have you never seen Gangs of New York?
Yeah, I've seen Gangs of New York.
Yeah, well, before New York was called New York, it was called New Amsterdam. I'm fucking 100% certain it was called New Amsterdam, right? And that's where, obviously, the colony, the empire at the time, that's where they first landed, around New Amsterdam, right? And George Washington's parents are British, of English descent. George Washington was born in a British military hospital in America. Mm-hmm. So he was born on American land with British parents, right? He must have hated his parents a fucking lot for him to turn his back on them and say, right, I'm now fighting for the Americans.
Well, arguably, the vast majority of your white Americans are going to be British descent because the only 3 countries that colonised it was Spain, France and Britain.
Yeah.
Now, Spain, obviously, we know where they fucking colonised.
South.
It's all Spanish.
Yeah.
You know, French.
Portuguese did well, though, because Portuguese got Brazil.
Yeah, the Portuguese did a fair bit as well.
Yeah.
I always forget about Portugal, because they didn't exactly last long.
Had a good goal.
You know, and then you had some French settlers, but they relatively never really got a foothold because we had too much of a foothold, and we colonised that fucking quick. That we colonised it, you know, and it became 13 colonies, and then, you know, and then it became fucking something else where they banded a few together, and then civil war, and then fucking the next thing they all of a sudden had their own little fucking nation on the side of America and decided, well, what's that way?
Yeah,
let's go that way.
Let's keep them going, and all of a sudden they get to Los Langley's.
Yeah, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's like fucking, who the fuck are these fucking red Indians? Oh, fucking hell, we can't have these. Let's fucking flatten them.
Yeah,
you know,
let's just fucking destroy them.
You know,
and that's what happened, wasn't it? The Native American men would go out hunting for food, so the fucking American army went in and killed all the women and children. You motherfuckers! British did it as well, though. British did it in India and South Africa.
Fucking hell. Let's face facts. Out of every country in the fucking world, we've probably got the darkest history. You know.
Oh yeah.
Because we more or less had free reign at some point.
Yeah, we were the last big. The British Empire was the last big colonisation fucking exercise that went on, wasn't it?
No, let's face facts. Fucking hell, we arrested people and sent them to the other side of the fucking planet.
No.
How harsh is that?
It's like Australia.
You steal a fucking apple, right? Australia.
Australia was a prison colony, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was bang on a prison colony. But the weirdest thing was that out of chaotic people came organisation.
Yeah, one of the coolest fucking races on the planet. I must say races, one of the coolest fucking people on the planet. Australians. It's crazy. The Australian accent is derived from Old Cockney. It's amazing, that, isn't it?
You know, that was obviously how it came about. And now they've said it fucking, you know, they've done studies on it recently, you know, and everything, but they've known about fucking ever. You know, if you get a fucking prison and make fuck all laws in there, you just have your guards around the end so no one can get out, and let them do whatever the fuck they want. They'll fucking set up an economy. They'll set up fucking currency.
They've done it in
their
Thailand.
own laws. You know, they'll fucking do it.
I was watching a documentary about the world's hardest prisons, and there was a documentary in this prison in Thailand, right? And this prison was basically a mini fucking city. There was a radio station run by fucking prisoners. There was a TV station run by prisoners. There was shops. You could buy cigarettes, tobacco. There was prostitutes. I mean, it was a mixed prison. People were coming in outside. It was like a theme park. Families were coming in, paying money to go and fucking spend the weekend.
There's prisons in Mexico where if you go to prison, your family can come with you and live with you in the prison. If you can fucking sustain them in prison through their currency that they have in that prison, which is probably dollars, you know, if you can sustain yourself, fucking your family can come with you. They can live there with you.
I tell you what,
that's good, isn't it?
You do not want to end up in a fucking Mexican prison, do you?
No.
Your ass is just going to be a fucking pinata. That's all. You're just going to get slapped by fucking dicks.
I think pretty much every prison from the American-Canadian border to fucking the end of South America, I do not want to be in.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Who the fuck's the outsider then? Me.
Yeah.
Fucking definitely. Doesn't matter where I fucking go, I've got an enemy.
And the ironic thing is, they were shipping people from Great Britain over to Guantanamo Bay. Fucking cop meat sandwich.
Yeah, that fucking... You didn't eat that cop meat sandwich, did you? The... Fucking, like, on the front of prison, you're like, European prisons are fuck all. At least this end of Europe, you know. Your Eastern ones are still a bit iffy.
Yeah.
They are getting better. Saying that, though, where's the last place on earth that you want to go to prison, in your opinion? Just name a country that you do not want to go to prison in.
America.
Is it still America?
Yeah.
See, I could see the American prisons as being terrifying. But
have you ever seen Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah, I've seen Shawshank Redemption. But
what is it with black men got to think about white men's arseholes?
I know. The thing fucking terrifying me would be a Chinese prison, I think.
Why?
Because fucking hell, they just don't have any rule at all. You know, they literally don't.
I've never seen any press because I've never looked forward to be honest about Chinese prisons.
Ever gets into a Chinese prison or goes near a Chinese prison, but over there they don't give a shit. They'll just fucking torture you. You know, they'll just torture you, just flat out.
Who, the guards?
Anybody?
Right.
Fucking hell. You know, it's arguably fucking the new president over there is trying to uncorrupt the country. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But everything's just fucking full. Well, let's face facts. You can fucking pay somebody £100 to go to North Korea. That's what it costs to bribe someone to go to North Korea if you go to China.
Really?
It's not just Vice who's done it. There's others. You know, the fucking BBC did it. BBC bribed someone to go to North Korea. That's how
they got in for the Chinese.
It's the only way to go in. You can't get in otherwise. Yeah. You bribe a Chinese official.
Fucking hell, scared the shit out of me.
Bribe a Chinese official. He says that you're a blah blah blah. You know, some kind of visitor or something. North Korea goes, all right. Sends that fucking Fort Knox in the middle of that island.
Originally, it was films that made me scared of American prisons. Just recently, in the past 48 months, it was a official paper that was printed by somebody in Congress, and he said, it was actually a woman who said, the American prison system is rife with rape. Rife with rape. And you know me, as a friend, I have a rule that I never want to see your dick in any circumstance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking the communal showers and work, I draw a line at friendships and seeing the other person's cock. That's never gonna fucking happen, right? I've got a fear of penises, right? A genuine fear of penises. Right now I'm thinking of TD, who was flapping his knob in work. Right. So this official paper made it even more horrific for me. Like, it was common practice. Nobody gives a fuck, because when they report it to guards, it's that institutionalised in the prison society. It's like, if you go to prison, you're gonna get a bit of bum loving. You are, and that's just part of prison. If that's not enough of the deterrent to you, then fucking good luck to you down and fucking. They're gonna go through you like a fucking train.
When you get in there, pick a side quick. That's literally what it is. Yeah. Preferably the white side. You know, not the one with the fucking.
I would die in prison.
Cocks.
If I went to American prison, I would die in there. I would fucking end up drowning myself in my own tears. I'm fucking silly.
It's actually quite a good deterrent to people who aren't American, though. When somebody fucking breaks some kind of law that affects America and they try and extradite them, bet your money all you'd have to do is sit down in that fucking interview room with that British person and say, right, here's the extradition papers, you know, we're going to send you to America. They'll cry like a baby. They'll tell them everything.
Yeah, fucking right. I mean, the second thing that scares me other than rape, so the second thing to rape that scares me is the solitary confinement. Because it is inhumane. And they put you in a darkened room, and it's a fucking 6x4 cell, and they'll just forget no window, and you're stuck in there. That would drive a person mad.
Do you remember that fella who was in the news last year about he'd spent 2 years in solitary confinement by accident? He'd been put in there.
I remember
and his papers had gone missing somewhere along the lines, and
he wasn't even supposed to be in there. He went in there for like a weekend or something like that.
He went in there on drink driving charge. He was supposed to be in there for a weekend, and the paper files didn't get charged, and then the guards just kept moving around. They didn't have any papers for him or fuck all, and he became like prisoner John Doe.
Yeah.
And then after 2 fucking years, after 2 years he finally got to see a lawyer. He got put in solitary confinement originally because he tried to twat a fucking police officer or something. After 2 years, he finally managed to get out of solitary confinement with fucking hair around his fucking ass and everything. He finally got out and he got a lawyer. The lawyer went, right, who are you? And he was like, I'm this person. He went, fucking, there's no fucking court documents. Missing persons report. Fucking, because his family's just vanished off the face of the planet. His house is still there. His fucking car's still there. Fucking rotted to fuck. You know. What?
I know.
How does that happen?
Well, you say, how does it happen? Did I ever play you the trailer of the Chinese chap who got put into solitary confinement about 3 weeks ago? Did you ever play that?
No.
Right, university graduate of Chinese descent was out on the piss with his mates, and the cops busted him. No, I'm lying. I'm fucking lying. This Chinese chap was in a house that got raided by the SWAT team, right? Everybody was smoking weed. It was just weed, right? So, as usual, fucking the SWAT team goes in, fucking helicopters, fucking all guns drawn, shoot the dog, the usual shit that they do. Completely OTT. He was there. He got busted, along with everybody else. Everybody else goes to jail. He resisted arrest because he said, well, listen, I've got nothing to do with this, right? I'm not smoking any drugs or anything. I'm just there hanging out with mates. Because he resisted arrest, he goes straight into solitary confinement, right? He was left there for 5 days. Are you ready for this? Without food and without water, in complete fucking darkness. Guards would walk around the cell, and he, after day 1, like, he sort of accepted it, no food, no water. Day 2, is there anybody out there that had no food, no water? Day 3, he was really starting to worry because this guy's a university graduate. Oh, he was still in university. He was at UCLA actually, and he was like, "Listen, this is my 3rd day. I've not had any food or water. Right? You need to. After 3 days, you can die without water. Right? Day 3, he starts drinking his own piss. Right? Day 4, hallucinations set in. Right? So the thinker was hysterical. Nobody still hears guards walking around him. Apparently, it was in a circle. This cell block, so he said he could hear guards walk around. Day 4, the hallucinations set in, and I think he written a message on the wall in blood from like his own finger, where he'd like rubbed it up and down the wall, trying to write like his obituary, his goodbye message. Day 5, somebody opens up and chucks in some bread and water, and then they say, "Oh, what the fuck are you in here for?" And he gets drugged in front of the judge, and there's a massive investigation. Apparently, he's going to be entitled to at least $2 million. How fucking dare they fucking do that to a human being? They violated every human rights laws they could potentially have. Do they have human rights laws in America? They must do.
Well, they don't. They have human rights laws, but not like we do. We have to adhere to a court. They don't. They have to adhere to their own court.
Yeah.
And if it's really, really fucking bad, you know.
But you mean our court? You mean the Crown?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, our own Crown Court has its own human rights laws. Yeah. But ultimately, as well, they have upper human rights laws in the EU. Obviously, it's still got to go through our judges, but it still go off them laws. Whereas America just literally has whatever laws it's got on its own. The fairly handy thing with America, though, is when something like that does happen, somebody's getting bummed. Yeah. Good start. Now, I know it's terrible that it's happened to him type of thing. We can guarantee whoever the fuck's responsible for that on some level. Saying that, though, I was about to say, you can guarantee somebody's going to get punished, but it could be.
You say you guarantee somebody's going to be punished, but I think all that's going to happen is lessons are going to be learned. There's been an internal investigation. Yeah, there's been somebody's been suspended for 90 days without pay, because in that country, in America, it's actually legal for an employment for an employer to suspend you without pay for up to 90 days. Yeah. It's illegal in this country. You can't suspend somebody in this country without pay. If you're suspended in this country, it is with pay by law. So,
and more often than not, it means getting sacked as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does inevitably. But if they do suspend you, you can fucking go in the club for fucking 6 months with fucking stretch. You can stretch it out as long as you fucking want, potentially. So, but I really believe that that's going to happen again. Do you know what I mean? And no drugs were found in his system at all. He was literally visiting friends. Yeah. And he fucking... that's going to haunt him for the rest of his fucking life now. So. Because they're still going to try and charge him with resisting arrest. When all he said is, well, I'm just there visiting. I can understand that's what everybody's going to say. Well, I'm just there visiting, but there was no drugs in his system. He's got a fucking prestigious, glorious, clean background. He was president of this and fucking top dog of this and his classes.
I would suspect he's probably got a dad high up as well somewhere.
Oh mate, yeah, there's money. There's fucking money in it. They're going to tear it apart.
If his dad knows somebody, that's it. They are fucked. Whoever the fuck it is who's getting bummed.
I think the more fuckery about it was actually the Homeland Security who did the drugs raid. Apparently now Homeland Security are doing their own fucking drugs busts. Not the police. Do you know the Department of Education now have a SWAT team? The Department of Education recently have got issued a fucking SWAT team. Can you imagine our Department of Working and Pensions getting a fucking SWAT team? Can you imagine that, our Department of Education getting a fucking SWAT team? It's ridiculous. They've militarised and fucking put police state into it. The Department of Education does not need a fucking SWAT team.
Well, did I ever tell you about... Now, I've been pulled over now in my life. I've been driving now for 5 years. Been pulled over 4 times in them 5 years. Right.
Fucking I've been pulled over once.
Now, the first time I got pulled over was when I was out with Kayla. Now, to be honest with you, at the time, it was fucking 4 years ago. So I thought it was fucking 1:30 in the morning. Me and Kayla driving around on a fucking Sunday morning, 1:30 to go to McDonald's. Yeah, dogging. Then going to McDonald's because, you get a bit of package after shagging. But
wake up and I was like, fucking.
So I kind of accepted, you know, there's a little bit of cause to pull me over there. But
well, there's not really. If you weren't doing anything illegal.
Now I wouldn't have that opinion at all. But back then I did, you know. I was fairly naive.
Young, naive.
And,
yeah.
You know, and so he pulled me over, and, you know, I thought, fucking, I don't even know the procedure for this. I thought, well, I've always seen the police get dead on edge if you get out the car before they come to you. So I thought, fucking, I'll wind the window down, leave the engine on, let him come to me. So he came to me, he said, can you just come out the car, please? So turn the engine off, lights off, got out the car, shone a torch in my eye, went, what are you out for? I said, we're going to 24-hour McDonald's. He said, all right. He said, no problem. He went, he said, I can see you. He said, I can see you sober. He said, and there's no problem. He said, I was just checking to make sure you're not drink drive. He said, the drink driving test isn't necessary or anything. He said,
what time of year was
free
this?
to go. This was, it was fairly warm outside. Right, so probably middle of summerish.
All right, so it wasn't like Christmas then. The big drink driving fucking.
You know, and he said, right, you're free to go. I was there for about a minute, or something like that. So there was no problem with that. Now,
still illegal. You weren't doing anything illegal.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, 2 years went by, no problem.
No stops.
No stops. In the space of a month, I got stopped 3 times.
Okay.
Now, getting stopped 3 times in a month, by the 3rd time, you've got a cob on.
Yeah.
You really do have a cob on.
No, so the first time you get stopped.
First time, about 300 yards in that direction, there used to be a drug dealer's house. He used to grow weed in his fucking attic, and the police knew. And they raided it several times. And all the time on that fucking road, about 50 yards down the road, a police car would pull up to a little fucking corner and just watch to see who pulled up. And I've got no problem with the police doing that. They know for a fact someone's going to pull up at that house and buy drugs.
Yeah.
Or be carrying a ridiculous amount of money because they're selling drugs for him.
Which isn't illegal.
You know.
Carrying money.
Well, yeah, but if you carry certain amount of money on you, they can seize it.
They can't, not in this country. They can do asset forfeiture in America, but not in this country. They can question you.
But I can't remember what else. But if they find out that it's been illegally obtained, they can. But anyway, I don't care about that. If you know.
Okay,
what I mean.
right. Yeah, just back onto the story. Go on.
This is exactly what happened. I'm going work.
Okay.
First time, on night shift. So 5:30.
When you're on the bay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I leave the fucking house 5:30. I get halfway down that road. I pass the police car. I see him looking at me, but I'm not doing anything wrong, and he glances away. Doesn't even bother looking at me after that. So I drive past him. Drive 30 seconds down the road, and I suddenly think to myself, fucking hell, I forgot my work keys.
Yeah.
Better go get my work keys. So I do a legal U-turn, not a fucking... fucking, you know, I do pull up, indicate right, U-turn, fucking full back. I drive past. Now this time I see him go like that.
Hang on a minute.
He just drove past me again.
Yeah.
It just so happened that I did a U-turn right outside the drug dealer's house, didn't I?
Oh my god.
So up the fucking road I go, and I pull up outside my house right there, right now. Pull up right there, and he's up my ass right there.
Blue lights on.
Do you want to know, this is 5:30, right?
This is here?
This is right here, right outside my own house. Do you know how long I was there for? 40 minutes.
Okay.
He fucking went over that entire car with a tooth comb.
And what was his reason?
His exact reasoning was, I suspect you of being involved in drug dealing and you were driving erratically.
Okay.
Because I didn't know where I was going. Right. I said to him, look, mate, I'm in a Nissan Micra. Yeah. I've got a Morrison's bag on my fucking front seat with about £3 worth of packed lunch in because I'm going to work.
Okay.
And you're going to make me late. Didn't give a shit.
Right.
He fucking had the parcel shelf up, fucking checking the tyre. Fucking the next thing, a fucking police dog turns up, doesn't it? Fucking checks the entire car around.
I didn't know this.
And he issues me this fucking... I demanded, I said, I want to see a fucking ticket to see why he pulled me over. So he gave me this fucking ticket with some article number 3,444 million, something stupid. So I get it, and I don't think anything of it. I left it up here. 2 days later, on the way home from work, I'm driving up the same fucking road. Different bobbies parked there. So I drive past him at fucking 6:10 in the morning.
Right.
He pulls me over.
Right. Coming to or from work? Coming
home from work after my night shift. After me last night. So this is bang on 2 days later. I said, this is just up that road, just it's not far away. I said, look, mate, I got pulled over 2 days ago by somebody parked in the same spot. Yeah. He said, don't get funny with me.
Right.
So straight away, off to a great fucking start now.
Got you back up.
Similar thing. I'm there for a bit shorter this time. You know, fucking breathalyzes me again. All the fucking work. And I'm saying fucking fairly pissed off. I want to get home. Yeah. You know, I've just fucking done 48 hours worth of shift in fucking 4 days. I want to go home. So in the end, I get fucked off and I come home.
What was his reason? Did he give you any paperwork this
The
time?
exact same thing.
Right, driving erratically.
Similar fucking ticket. Right? Now, before the third time came round,
Yeah.
I got issued them 2 tickets. And the next day when I got up, I was still wound up. I was fucking fuming. So I fucking looked it up. And do you know exactly what the clause was? The Anti-Terrorism Act. I got pulled over on the Anti-Terrorism Act twice. Driving a Nissan Micra, fucking with a trim held on by No More Nails and an exhaust held on by Jubilee clips.
They can search you under the Terrorism Act
Yes.
without any reasonable cause.
And the third time I got pulled over on the same fucking road 2 days later again.
So you got pulled over 3 times within 10 days?
On the same fucking road. And before the police officer even fucking got near the fucking window, I was fucking fuming.
Yeah.
As soon as he got there, I said, and I literally had the ticket there. I said, if you show me that fucking clause right now, I am gonna freak.
Yeah.
And he went like that, shone the torch in my eye, let me go.
Really? Did he?
And I was fucking fuming. I reckon if he'd fucking got me out of that car, I'd probably got arrested.
So what did you do? Did you not take it any further?
No, I didn't, because I had a look online, there was lots of people with similar problems.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to that extent of it being outside a drug dealer's house, but I just so happened to always use that road to go to and back from work. And no one uses that road.
That's horrific.
No.
That's absolutely ridiculous that you've been stopped under the Terrorism Act.
Yeah.
To search your car because you drove past a drug dealer's house.
I remember saying to the third fella, no, I'm not being funny, but if I was going to carry... He did look at me fucking really funny, and it's probably the wrong thing to say, because I probably could have got arrested if I had the right police officer. I said, look, I'm not being funny. I said, but that Morrison's bag does not have explosives in.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. Arguably, you might get a funny police officer who sees that as a bomb threat.
Yeah.
But it wound me up so much. And I was only thinking about it the other day when that Miranda thing happened, which we'll go into detail in a bit, but it just pissed me off so much. Because unless I'm driving along the fucking road in a cement mixer filled with C4, what fucking right have they got?
They can I've been watching the clips on YouTube. They can stop absolutely anybody they want to, as long as they say it's part of the Terrorism Act. I want to search it. I want to search it. If you knew, if that was me, I would have said I do not consent to any searches. I would not consent to any searches. And if you search me under the Terrorism Act, for my own safety, I am going to record this. And by law, they cannot forbid you. The thing is, if you start to go in your pocket to start pull something out, they will probably cuff you. But if I'm going to get pulled over, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my keys out the ignition, because under the Road Traffic Act and in the Highway Code, you cannot handle your mobile device while your keys are in the ignition. So as soon as I see blue lights behind me, I'm going to take my keys out of the ignition and I'm going to press fucking record. And when he walks over to the window and he says blah blah blah, I'm going to say, just to let you know, these are the words I'm going to say, I'm a documentary filmmaker, and for my and your own protection, I'm going to record this. Why are you stopping me? Well, you're driving erratically. Well, can you explain to me what erratically is? You don't know you turn in the road. The Highway Code states that I can do a U-turn in the road as long as it's legal and as long as it's safe. He said, I have not broke any law, so why have you pulled me over? And if he says, well, I don't know, where you drove past a drug dealer house, I would say to him, I have broke no laws at all for me to drive up here. So tell me again why you have pulled me over. All this is being recorded. And all right, he's going to get a shitty on with you. And if he says, well, I'm going to search your car under the Terrorism Act, I will say, what cause have you got to search my car under the Terrorism Act? Why have you singled me out individually because I've done a U-turn in my road? I'm going to work on I would have a field day. I tell you now, I would write to the Chief Constable, I would write to the MP, I would write to the local commissioner, the police commissioner of the local area. I would write to the local councillor. I would contact the Citizens Advice Bureau. I would contact the police officer superior. I would fucking contact as many fucking lawyers and freedom fucking speech people as fucking possible, and I would make it my personal mission for that bully not to pick on other fucking drivers. I would go as far as possibly what I can, because the second time, mate, you got victimised. You probably went on that fucking Scooby-Doo database. The car went past, bing, this car was searched under the Terrorism Act.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh mate, I'm fucking infuriated for you.
Well, that was the thing. The first 2 times I didn't know. It was only after the second time I thought, what the fuck is this stupid thing?
We all wet. We got no wet. This is a cold red.
No, we don't. But It did annoy me. You know, it really fucking did.
Fucking right, it annoys you.
No, I've not been pulled over. I've not been pulled over once since. But as soon as now I know you've heard me say it quite a few times last month, but as soon as I get that fucking Focus ST,
as soon as I get my ST,
I'm getting a piece of paper that fucking size, and I'm writing down every fucking clause that they can possibly pull me over for, and I'm sticking it on there so I can turn around and go, you can't pull me over for that because of this.
Yeah.
You know, because I know for a fact I'm going to get pulled over in that fucking thing.
Quite possibly.
Let's face facts. Nothing says drug dealer more than one of them fucking things.
Well, yeah, a 4x4 fucking the one that MD in work has got. He's got that Touareg, isn't he? With blacked out windows in the back. The thing is, the police can pull you over if they want to pull you over. By law, they need to have reasonable suspicion to pull you over. But they can invent a reason. Yeah, they can invent. Yeah, they've done an illegal U-turn. But depending on who they pull over, 9 out of 10 people are going to go, right, yes, no, search my car, do this, that and the other. If they pull me over, it's going to be a world of fucking hurt. Because if they want to pull me over for a load of fucking bullshit, I am going to fucking take them to the cleaners. As a sovereign individual of this fucking country, is what you are. You are a sovereign individual. That is what you know as a sovereign entity. You are a sovereign individual, and nobody, no law enforcement agency, and no person has got the right to infringe on your personal sovereignty on this fucking space. And if they want to infringe your personal right to fucking travel, they need to expect to fucking to face the consequences by fucking law. They can't do that. They shouldn't be allowed to get away with that. I'm so angry that you got pulled over 3 times under the Terrorism Act.
I know.
Which is just a wall behind him. What they did is then, right, officially they pulled you over for the Terrorism Act to search you, hoping to find drugs.
Yeah.
Didn't they? That's what they did. We pulled him over under the Terrorism Act because we had no reason to pull him over, so we looked a bit shady, so we was conducting a terrorism search, but we found drugs, and that's why we got the dog. It's outrageous.
See, the main thing
Get me a pen and pad and writing a letter.
It was... There's a couple of... Now, it was... I remember it was in the news last year, wasn't it? That the Independent Police Commission had so many complaints about pullovers under the Terrorism Act and all that shit. And they printed a thing, didn't they, saying so many 100,000 people been pulled over since fucking 7... What was it? 7-7? Since 7-7. So many people have been pulled over on anti-terrorism laws since that, you know, and fucking, you know, there's nowhere near, you know, how many people could you actually look at driving past them and think they are being a terrorist?
You can't, can you?
No.
You can't. What does a terrorist look like? All right, it's been set in our minds that everybody with a dark brown skin and a beard and probably a turbine on their head is a potential terrorist.
Turbine? That's going to be powering a power plant now.
They're powering a power plant, yeah. They're powering whatever device they could potentially not or could possibly wear it. I would like to see the ethnicity figures of the terrorism and stop and searches. It's against the law for them to pull you over. In fact, I'll tell you this now, right? The European Court of Human Rights, which is the court that this country fucking reports to, that we follow our laws from, has deemed it illegal for the police in this country to enforce the Terrorism Act. What they did to you is illegal under European law, and because it's European law, it is law in this country. That has been agreed. It's been agreed to. I don't know whether it's been agreed to in our parliaments, but we follow the laws that they set, right? The European courts deem the Terrorism Act in this country illegal for them to stop a sovereign person without due cause and fucking suspicion, and regardless of whether you're wearing a turbine on your head, you got brown skin and fucking a beard, they should not be fucking stopping you from doing a U-turn in the road. That is infuriating. I've never been so angry.
That's one of the best things as well about the Anti-Terrorism Act is a supervisor, or, you know, what's the fucking word? The fellow the police report to, you know, their fucking boss.
In which country?
Superior.
Oh yeah. All over.
The best thing is when they're superior, if they came around something like that, a lot of the time, because it's under the anti-terrorism thing, they can turn around and say, well, we're not allowed to release any details about it.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's a fucking murky, dirty dirt cloud.
It just makes you realise
dark, dirty cloud.
Now, I'm not exactly a fucking conspiracy theorist at all. Not even 0.01%.
You are. You're slowly coming round to it. You're reading the articles. Are you thinking about it?
No.
No.
But
no New World Order.
But when you no,
and that was
not.
the Go Forth And Amplify podcast. Me and Declan can no longer be friends.
Yeah,
you need to be open to this. You need to be at least susceptible to an ulterior motive. You put that in your fucking bio. The world is not as it seems.
No, I did. I said, what was it? That it is not as simple as it seems. It's not as simple as good, bad, evil, blah blah blah, whatever.
Right, so you're not. Go on then. You're not open to conspiracies, right?
No,
so
I'm not
what's
particularly
the
open to
point?
conspiracy theories, but I can see why a government massively benefits from a terrorist attack.
Right.
On that front, fucking, if we've passed that law, what the fuck have the Americans passed?
Well, the Patriot Act.
Yeah, fucking everything else that they fucking passed probably, but they've got fucking laws fucking like that, fucking just for fucking random shit.
Yeah, they've since 9/11, a lot of articles that I've seen on the internet is like the terrorists have won.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't like the American freedoms, what they had, well, the American freedoms have been infringed massively now, so they've won.
Stuff like on the Snowden thing, I can't understand how on any level they have the right to revoke his citizenship.
I know, yeah, take the citizenship away from one person.
How the fuck can you take the citizenship away from someone?
If telling the truth is now looked at as terrorism, then you are controlled by criminals.
Yeah,
that's as simple as you can put it.
Well, that's the thing.
Governed by criminals.
As they said, they have started putting it down now, haven't they? The Snowden stuff, and anybody with the material from Snowden stuff. It could be a threat. It could be a threat of terrorism type of thing. That's what they've officially declared it as. That's how fucking David Miranda got pulled up in Heathrow.
Just explain to our viewers who David Miranda is.
David Miranda is a Brazilian journalist.
Okay.
Who, whilst he doesn't have a massively active role in the Snowden thing, but his partner and one of his friends, both are pretty much the top two people dealing with Snowden. One's the Guardian journalist who blew the story in the first place, who first got all the stuff off him. The second one is the filmmaker who blew some of the stuff with him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he's obviously well connected with them.
So this Brazilian guy was friendly with the journalist who's releasing all of Snowden's Snowden stories.
The Guardian journalist, Glenn Greenwald. Glenn Greenwald, his name is. But now he met in Berlin, I believe it was, the other day. He met the filmmaker who released some of the Edward Snowden stuff.
What's the chap's name? What's the Brazilian chap's name?
David Miranda.
Right.
His name is.
He
met up with the female journalist who's involved in it.
Right.
Met up with her in Berlin for whatever number of hours. Then he was getting a connecting flight to Heathrow to connect onto Brazil to go home. He flew out from Berlin. The second he touched down in Heathrow, he was detained by the Whitehall, some kind of Whitehall connected police. He was detained by, his own exact wording was, 6 shady figures who came in and out of the interview room, in turns.
Right.
And for 9 hours he was detained in Heathrow. He had his laptop, his mobile phone, his games console, his games, every piece of electronics that he had with him.
Okay.
Full stop, except for his fucking passport, was took off him. He was detained for them 9 hours. He was questioned. He was asked every question under the sun about his personal life. Fucking from everything to fucking private stuff to fucking Snowden to what he's been doing. Is he involved in terrorist activities? Blah, 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 blah. And then during them 9 hours, now, allegedly, he has said that they denied him a lawyer. And they've turned around and said, we didn't deny him a lawyer. Whoever's telling the truth there, I don't know. But with him, I can't see him.
I
can't see him. I can't see him choosing to not take the lawyer.
I know, yeah. As a very clever man, you would think in this situation he's going to lose all of his shit.
Well,
I want a lawyer here, fucking now. It would need to be very clever to think on the spot. I'm not going to ask for a lawyer here now. This is going to massively play into my hands.
Well, straight away, the main thing is that if you got pulled up on it, right, and you went, right, I'm going to demand a lawyer. The first thing you'll do is you go, I demand this lawyer.
Yeah.
Because if they fucking can't get him there within 9 hours, you're fucking walking.
Yeah.
Unless they want to charge you.
Yeah.
But I only read about that after it had fucking happened. But anyway, so he was detained for 9 hours, denied a lawyer. questioned for fucking 9 hours. He said it was fucking horrendous. It scared the shit out of him.
Really?
He was threatened with fucking prison if he didn't divulge any facts about Snowden and his partner's involvement in it and his friend's involvement in it. Snowden's fucking location, information regarding him, what information would they be leaking to by the Guardian, etc, etc, etc. After 9 hours, they had to release him. Didn't give him one electronic fucking thing back. Whacked him on a plane to Brazil. Off to Brazil he went with fuck all.
So why did they take his electronics off him?
It's Section 7 of the Anti-Terrorism Act.
Right. Okay.
Now, that was all the information that we got, but they did release a statement today, and the local police force, not commissioner, but his superior, whoever it was who did the arresting, backed him to the hilt and said there was...
Backed who to the hill?
The police who arrested him. He said there was absolute probable cause to arrest him on the count of... on the count of anti-terrorism, something along them lines, and then somebody gave a statement from the Home Office then as well. Him saying, I'm not going to divulge why we arrested him, but it was anti-terrorism purposes. And then the Home Department, not the Home Secretary, that's a bit important. The Home Department itself, the bureaucratic part of it. Released a statement saying the government has absolutely no decisions in who not gets who gets arrested. We have no part in it whatsoever. It's important that we let the police do the job, and that if the police believe that there was substantial evidence of him having information that could be a terrorist threat, in other words, that he could possibly have information to leak.
Okay.
How it's fucking terrorism threat, I don't fucking know.
National security. Is that tied in with terrorism? If there's a threat to national security, is it automatically a terroristic act?
Well, but so after all that, and they basically said, not necessarily backed them, but said that if they had probable cause for it, they were well within their rights to arrest him, blah 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 blah. But fucking, I just can't fathom it whatsoever. It really made me angry it made me angry when I first read it. It's making me even more angry now as the facts are coming out.
Right. Okay. Right. Were they waiting for him?
Bang on Heathrow in the
arrivals.
The arrival area.
So they were waiting for him.
Yes.
So were they watching him? Were they watching his passport?
Well, straight away they must have been watching his passport to know that he was flying from Burrows. Because let's face facts, he will not have touched down and they only just found out about him. They will have known the second his passport went through Berlin. Now, in my opinion, they probably knew from his fucking meeting. They probably knew fucking days before where he was. Yeah. In my opinion.
As soon as he booked that ticket, it pinged up his passport number, his name. Probably they were looking at it and they probably found out they had the ticket. Yeah. He had the ticket to arrive in the United Kingdom. Yeah. So they were waiting for him in the UK.
Well, this is the best laugh. The Americans, while they've not said anything, they've not said that it was there that they've.
Well, that's my next question. Is there any American influence behind it?
Arguably, definitely. I reckon it's more than likely GCHQ who are doing it off their own back, in my opinion.
Really?
Well, even though GCHQ has a lot of involvement in the NSA, I think GCHQ runs itself a fair bit, and they probably seen an opportunity, possibly
to get gold stars, another £100 million from men, from CIA, from America.
But think about that though. How the fuck, how could the police possibly believe him to be a suspect without GCHQ giving them information about it? Yeah. How could he possibly do it without the NSA giving them information?
Correct.
Likely.
But what's in your opinion then? It was off the back of GCHQ?
Yes. Right. More than likely. But it will be coming back from the NSA.
Yeah, in my opinion.
And it's absolutely because of his involvement with Snowden. Yeah. Absolutely no other reason.
Yeah, in my opinion, I'm going that there was, if not pressure, there was at least a request from an American government organisation to detain him and to take all of his products. So I'm going to go with it. There was American influence.
America has said officially that they did not have any involvement in it. They did not request it.
A document will come out somewhere. A document will fucking come out somewhere one day. It always comes out.
They have said they were given 2 days' notice that he was going to be detained at Heathrow.
Who was America?
The Americans, they officially. I can't remember who gave the statement. It could have been the White House actually who gave the statement. So they were given prior notice that he was going to be detained.
What threats were made by the British journalist then over the arrest?
Well,
if any?
Glenn Greenwald
Because
basically...
imagine when he heard word of it, it upset him.
I would say so. It's your own
At very
fucking
least,
partner.
either upset or made him angry. One or the other. He probably experienced a fucking realm of emotions at least.
Yeah. But now straight away, now in my opinion, if you threaten, arguably it is a threat to him, really. Don't get me wrong, it's a threat to David Miranda, the one who was arrested anyway, but
Brazilian.
it's even more of a threat to him because they've basically threatened his partner with prison over this matter.
Okay.
And basically, they've practically said, come to fucking Heathrow, we'll fucking arrest you as well.
So, what's the British guy's name?
Glenn Greenwald.
And where is he at the moment?
He's, depending on where you look at it, he's not officially said where he was, but he was with his partner in Brazil recently.
Right.
When he,
British
after it
journalist.
happened, the
Okay.
British journalist arrived in Brazil. Now, whether or not he's come over from Russia or not, I'm not sure.
Well-
He has been dealing with a lot with Snowden the last
Yeah.
few weeks, obviously.
Okay.
So I think he has been spending a lot of time in Russia. As far as I know, he's not come back to this country yet.
So, best guess, is he going to be arrested as well under the Terrorism Act when he arrives back in the country? For the guy, this is a guy who is he official reporter or is he freelancing for the
No,
Guardian?
he's a fully Guardian employed.
British citizen.
Yes.
Right. Best guess, is he going to be arrested under the Terrorism Act?
I'd say he's going to fucking get arrested at some point.
Right.
Whether or not he's even fucking come back to this country recently,
It's
I don't know.
unfucking fair, and the fact that the British are going down this route is fucking saddening.
Here's the big thing. I don't think you can threaten a journalist like that. I think if you threaten a journalist like that,
You open up a world of hurt. You don't fuck with journalists.
especially well, let's face facts. What if that fucking journalist? They don't have well, actually they fucking do. They do know what fucking facts he's got that we don't know.
So what threats has this journalist made then because his friend's been arrested?
He said basically on the lines of, I will be releasing more information through Snowden. I will continue to research this information and I will continue to stream it out from a foreign nation because they're not allowed to release it over here. They're allowed to release the ones that are released in the other country. When they're released over there, these can release it. But the Guardian's officially not allowed to possess the information itself until it's been released somewhere else.
Right.
Now that's another story. I'll tell that one in a minute.
Right.
Which involves the Guardian. But
Just quickly then, you did say before that he threatened to release some information that's even more very, very damaging to somebody. Who's the somebody?
the somebody was Whitehall, generally.
Really?
You know,
So Snowden had information on Whitehall?
Well, Snowden didn't have information on Whitehall, but Glenn Greenwald did.
From Snowden?
Yes.
Right.
Well, not from Snowden, regarding Snowden,
Right.
along them lines. Gist of it is, Whitehall learned a few weeks before Snowden had the big fucking ding-dong through certain channels that the Guardian was going to be releasing certain classified files involving NSA leaks or some form of information leaks from America, similar along the lines of WikiLeaks, etc. And they then said, you know, Whitehall generally wasn't that bothered with it. Different fucking kettle of fish. As soon as it fucking broke and they realised just how big it fucking was, they were less than happy about it. And Glenn Greenwald phoned his editor yesterday, asked him to release the information this morning, and he did. The editor of The Guardian, you know, so the top man in The Guardian newspaper, which is a fucking worldwide newspaper.
Oh, no, yeah. Very credible as well.
I don't particularly like the Guardian just because I'm just a little bit
biased.
A little bit biased towards them. There's just certain articles I don't particularly like. It's a bit left for me. But regarding that anyway, I don't care about that.
What are you? He's right.
I'm arguably right, yeah. Fairly right.
Fairly right.
I
So
don't know,
far
depends.
right, you're coming back on yourself and you're
Yeah,
left.
something like that. I'm fucking that far right, I'm
You're
left.
just fucking complete 360. You're a fucking circle.
But the Glenn Greenwald asked his editor, release this information, whatever the hell his information was that his editor had. His editor released it this morning. After the Snowden leaks happened, Whitehall suddenly phoned up The Guardian, the editor, and said, blah, blah, we know you've got information off Snowden. We know you're going to release it. You are not allowed to release it. You have to destroy it. They sent Whitehall officers to The Guardian thing, right? And you can find pictures online of it that the editor took. The Whitehall officers went down with the editor, and the editor decided off his own back for his legal purposes and fucking not going to prison purposes, because he knew that every file that was there was... He said to them right there and then, he said, there's no point in destroying these files. And they went, well, why not? He went, because all these files are in China as well, and all over the fucking world in secret locations. There's no point in doing that. They'll still come out. White House said, we don't care. So every single one of these files, they said, you've got to hand them over. He went, right, no problem.
Under a court order?
Under whatever the fuck laws that they have on it. And he said, you've got to hand it all over.
Oh, it's infuriating.
In front of the editor, and he's officially made this statement. It was in all the fucking newspapers today. Well, it was on all the websites, I should say. It'll probably be in the newspapers tomorrow, today. He was taken down to the basement of the Guardian office in London, and they got every one of these things, and the Whitehall officers smashed them to bits and destroyed.
Is that the picture you showed me before?
That was a MacBook Pro smashed to fucking pieces, and they destroyed all the information that was there. And he said to himself, word for word, that's got to be the most old-fashioned thing I've ever seen. What's the fucking point? Because them files are over there.
It's
those files are
retarded.
going to come out.
It's retarded. It's a retarded thing to do.
Like he said, because they're coming out anyway, and because they were coming out through the Guardian anyway, you know, on their fucking credibility type of thing, just from a different country, he said, under just the sensibility, he said, I handed it over. And that was the other week after the Snowden thing happened. Whitehall got pissy. So straight away, Snowden is influencing the NSA. You know, they're causing the NSA to then influence their channels, which influence through to GCHQ, which is then fucking influencing back to fucking Whitehall, which is our fucking government. Our own. This isn't a little fucking, you know, it's secret department. This is our fucking government. This is our government offices. It's our fucking equivalent of, you know, the Senate, Congress, fucking, you know.
It's the act of a scoundrel to destroy technology that is backed up all over the world.
I know.
It's a nonsensical, ridiculous thing. It doesn't make him feel better. The information in this country is destroyed. Yes, we've got a window of 33 minutes.
To me, it sounds like it makes them feel better, but not only that, it's probably a little bureaucratic. It's probably down in this little thing that in this certain circumstance, this has got to happen.
Yeah.
Fucking old school, yeah. Let's face facts. If you've got a fucking secret file on a, you know, here you go. I've got a secret file on this fucking hard drive right here. If it's that fucking secret, you're not gonna have it just on that.
No, you're
fucking everywhere. You're gonna have fucking brown envelopes all over the world that get shipped off when you die. Yeah. Fucking, you're gonna have everything. You're gonna have every backup plan going.
Yeah, it does sound like a very 1944 MI6 thing to do. Burn the papers.
This isn't the fucking 80s when you couldn't back it up on the internet. You know, fucking hell. You know.
Well, even before the 80s, it predates that. This is like old school, early 1900s. Yeah. Anything before 1960 where you can't photocopy it, do you know what I mean, or back it up. It's fucking ridiculous.
That's exactly what it is. And I was gobsmacked when it happened because, to me, that is not just shoddy police work anyway. It's a threat. It's a blatant threat by the fucking police forces against anybody who wants to promote press freedom or
disclose truth,
government transparency, stuff like that. You know, anybody wants to promote that, don't fucking do it because we'll fucking arrest you. And
you're fucking blowing my mind. I'm hormonal at the moment. My emotions are all over the place. It actually is like they're scared. It's like an act of fear. They're that scared that the information is in this country right here, right now, in their possession, in their reach, that they've got to smash it up. It's fucking
it just seems
ridiculous.
To be, now,
it's absurd.
I know I said it a few weeks ago when I said about the American government. It just seems to be in these types of situations they just go on to autopilot and do stupid shit. You know, I don't particularly know how it works, but they just seem to go on some kind of autopilot where they just don't give a shit. They just fucking do it anyway, regardless of how much damage they do. You know. And I never thought I'd fucking see it, but fucking hell, it appears that ours has started to go into autopilot as well.
What?
It seems that ours is going into autopilot as well. It's fucking got influence going all around the fucking planet.
What are they that worried about? What is Great Britain worried about? That's still to come out then, because there's got to be something in the background.
I don't know. I think now obviously he's released a lot of facts. He's going to have a lot more, I suspect. Now he's been told officially at the moment he can't release anything else.
Who's been told?
Snowden.
Who? But by who?
By Russia. He's been told.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Part of him being so he's going to stay there now until he manages to move on. You know, as soon as he gets asylum somewhere else and he manages to make it there, which is a big fucking if, that's when he'll start releasing again. Now, he's released a certain amount now. What fucking else has he got that's fucking really winding him up? Does it end at NSA and GCHQ? Does it end at that? You know,
right?
Because some of the stuff that he fucking released, you know, let's take out the whole, you know, Americans saying blah blah blah, it was a threat, it was a fucking threatened by him releasing these files. It's threatened the American soldiers, blah blah blah, all that bullshit. Let's ignore all that.
He didn't really release anything though that we didn't already know.
No, he didn't. He just confirmed it.
Yeah.
But I think what the interesting thing is, no one was that surprised. Everybody went mad about it because all of a sudden they went, well, fucking hell, here's the proof that they've been tapping our phones for fucking 30 bastard years.
Yeah.
They
did do an extension on that. They explained that they were recording everything, and it's only when you pop up on the radar that they can go back and pull it.
So no one was that shocked about that. But I reckon he's probably got stuff that will fucking shock.
Absolutely. If I was in his position, I would be having all my ace cards. Right now, I'll be getting rid of all my ones and my 2s, 3s and 4s, and I'll be holding the big guns back for when I fucking need them.
Now, for what he's fucking done, I've got absolutely nothing but respect for it.
Imagine if
he's arguably ruined his own life on this fucking.
Yeah, he said that himself. He knew what he was doing. He knew that he had this information and he needs to get out there. But did he say something like, I had the perfect life? I had a good job.
Had the perfect life. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I had a good job, good money, this, that, and the other. Imagine if he's got something big, something ridiculous like, listen, my government has placed one nuclear warhead in every major capital of the world as an act of defence to my country. Something that big. Yeah. That is something that could tip the balance of the fucking world.
Yeah. But it just all seems to be going to fucking. The Snowden front's been fairly quiet for a while now because he's not released anything else.
Why is he not dead?
Because
so much attention on him. Everybody's just going to go fucking another car crash.
Like you said, he's got to keep his ace cards, and all that he's got to do is each time that the heat gets a bit high, I'll just release this one. You don't have a clue what else he could have. Yeah,
he's going to have contingencies in place. He's probably got something in place now where if he dies, it's just going to be a flood of information. Yeah. Everything, every dirty little secret out there is going to flood onto the market. But put it this way: if he dies in 6 months, nobody's going to care. 6 weeks, nobody's going to care. It's going to become old news. Not unless the stories are behind him to keep light on his death. Because haven't America agreed that if he does return to the United States, he won't be tried with a death penalty at the end of it?
This is a much bigger one. This wasn't just little Bradley Manning, secrets that. Bradley Manning's secrets, more or less, everybody fucking knew anyway.
They weren't necessarily secrets, weren't they? They were just official documents of videos of.
They were just officially government fuck ups.
Yeah, government fuck ups. Yeah, they were, and they were outrageous. But it was wrong that he stole it, but the people needed to know. Did the people need to? There wasn't a fair. It did anger the fucking the Middle East, didn't it? Because some pilots looked like they were just doing it for fun.
I think he's accepted that. What he did do a lot of fucking damage. Yeah. Whether or not that, morally lies with the people who did the fucking covering up, or whether it lies with the people who released it. That's just a funny one. But the fucking Snowden thing is just fucking 100% cut dry. Boom.
Yeah.
He's done the absolute right fucking thing.
Yeah.
He's
a fucking real. Is the word? Is a hero the right word? Is a real fucking? Is a patriot?
I think hero's a little extreme. I think he's a patriot of freedom.
Freedom, yeah.
Not of America, of freedom.
An advocate.
Yeah, an advocate of freedom. That's a good one. He quite clearly feels passionate about us not having that monitor type of thing. Yeah. And
we shouldn't have it. We shouldn't have it. It's in their constitution and it's in our Magna Carta that. The government shouldn't be listening to the population because they're terrified of what one person or 100 people might do in 60 million, 340 million.
But even after all that, and they've said that they were only fucking monitoring, what was it, they could only process 1.6% of the information, something like that. What's the fucking point in doing it then? Fuck off.
Well, that
I wonder how much money the NSA fucking costs.
Billions.
I wonder how much money GCHQ costs. That building looks fucking expensive. It looks like a fucking bastard arc reactor off Iron Man.
It does.
It's fucking big circular fucking building. It looks like it costs fucking bomb to build.
It
looks like an artwork.
It could potentially, if something big comes out, it could potentially start an American Spring. They're not far off it.
I know you like the idea of that.
It's not that I like the idea of it. What I like the idea of is in my opinion, I'll say it again. I must have said this 20,000 times. I love the American people because I can see a lot of us in them. Do you know what I mean? Just regular guys going to work, like all over the planet. Regular guys going to work. What I dislike about it is that they're not as free as what they should be. And in the last 20 to 30 years, the police force has become heavy-handed. There's none of this going to the cop in the street and talking to him now. Do you know what I mean? They have SWAT teams raiding people's houses for unpaid parking tickets. This is not a lie. This is the truth now. If you have unpaid parking tickets that go unpaid and basically you fall off the grid, they don't send around like a collection agency or bouncers or anything like that. What's the word? Debt collectors or anything like that.
Yeah.
What's the word now? What debt collectors called? Not bouncers. Whatever, collection people, right? They send round a SWAT team and they handcuff your whole family and they shoot the dog. That's ridiculous. That is something that is it's borderline barbaric. You see people being stopped and searched and detained and arrested for filming the police in America, which is a legal thing to do. They have a legal right to film the police in America. You're seeing people getting seriously fucking battered by cops for resisting arrest when all they're doing really is filming their interaction with the cops. And now that infuriates me. Now, how many more times, how many people have to fucking die? How many people need to be beaten up by the police before just the people turn around and say, do you know what, we've had enough of our government recording us. We've had enough of our government ploughing money into the police force, which is what they are doing. It's fact. There's like an NSA grant where the NSA will give every police force and sheriff's department in the United States something like £1.3 million to buy armoured people carriers and start record. It'll save all of it. Alright. And we're back. Where they say you're fucked, and they've balanced that off really well between, if you break the law, you're fucked. But here's your McDonald's. You can go on vacation. Here's your job. Here's your shitty reality TV programs. Here's all your food. So I've got a comfy life, and I can be happy as long as I'm a good boy. I mean, I know that's how it should be in any civilized society. As long as you're a good boy, you can have a good life. But if you don't pay parking tickets, you don't want a fucking SWAT team come running through your door.
I think one of the like you said, it is turning fairly police state-ish. Now I know our fucking police officers have been fairly heavy-handed, but I don't think they're anywhere near as heavy-handed now as they were fucking 80s.
No,
I think I've spoke to our parents. We're fucking 20, 30s,
losing
and the 80s.
If you're losing bandwidth, we've got to wrap it up.
All right. Do you want to wrap it up then?
Is Kayla on? Is Kayla downloading something?
Possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, right. We're going to have to wrap this up. It's a shame because we didn't actually talk about the High Speed Rail 2, but we will get back onto that another time. And that has been the Go Forth And Amplify podcast from DeathSquadUK.com with me, Ben Burrows, at Brit Podcaster on Twitter, and Declan Whiteside at The Anarchist Undead on Twitter. We hope we've blew your fucking minds. We'll see you on the other side, Ray. Stay safe.